on to the gun?
Why should he hold on to the gun?
Because I already got it. First time!
Wanna die? Is that it? You wanna die? The desperate words of Q echo through the Harlem night as he confronts his childhood friend turned cold-blooded killer on a New York rooftop. But did you know that this iconic confrontation almost never happened? That Tupac Shakur, delivering one of the most chilling portrayals of a sociopath in 1990s cinema, was nearly fired from the set of Juice halfway through production. They tried to replace Tupac. The gun went missing. The ending was changed. And still, Juice became a classic. The role Tupac was never meant to play. The truth is, Tupac wasn't even supposed to be in the audition room that day. He only landed the role after walking a friend, Money B from Digital Underground, into the audition. Tupac wasn't on the call sheet, but while waiting, he casually read Bishop's lines with Money B and stunned the casting team so much that they asked him to audition on the spot. That impromptu moment changed the trajectory of his entire career. When cinematographer Ernest Dickerson stepped behind the camera for his directorial debut in 1991, he wasn't just making another hood film. He was documenting a warning, one inspired by a real-life shooting that had shaken him years earlier in his own neighborhood. What began as Dickerson's personal mission would eventually launch the careers of multiple superstars and create a template for hip-hop cinema that still reverberates today. Why Puffy was rejected for Bishop. For 9 long years, Dickerson's script bounced between studios, collecting rejection letters. When Paramount finally greenlit the project, they originally suggested turning it into a comedy, even proposing Cosby Show star Malcolm Jamal Warner for a lead role. Dickerson refused, fighting to maintain the raw, unflinching vision that had driven him to write the story in the first place. The casting process itself reveals how close we came to a completely different film. When a young Sean Puffy Combs auditioned for the role of Bishop, he was quickly rejected. Studio executives saw something dangerous and unpredictable in another young actor, a relatively unknown rapper named Tupac Shakur. But what they didn't know was that Tupac's intensity was precisely what the film needed. Why Tupac almost got fired. This character is Tupac, Dickerson reportedly told producers who were concerned about the rapper's behavior. You don't fire the storm, you film it. That decision would prove prophetic. Halfway through filming, producers seriously considered replacing Tupac after conflicts arose on set. His intensity was concerning. Some crew members complained he was difficult to work with, but Dickerson stood firm, recognizing that the raw energy Tupac brought to Bishop wasn't just acting, it was a channeling of something real and visceral. What's even more fascinating is how Tupac transformed the character from the page to the screen. In early drafts of the script, Bishop was written as a generic bad influence character, a troublemaker without much depth. But when Tupac stepped in, he rebuilt the character from the ground up, infusing Bishop with trauma, paranoia, and moral complexity that wasn't in the original screenplay. The words that were never written. Dickerson made the unusual decision to let Tupac and Omar Epps ad-lib many of their exchanges, as the original script contained slang that had become outdated during the 9 years the project sat in development. This improvisation is why their conversations feel so authentic. They were essentially rewriting the script in real time, speaking in their own voices. If you've ever seen the official poster for Juice, you might notice something missing: a gun. The original promotional materials featured Bishop holding his revolver, but Paramount executives, concerned about glorifying violence, airbrushed the weapon out at the last minute. This wasn't just an aesthetic choice. It represented the studio's deep anxiety about the film's raw portrayal of urban violence. When the gun went missing on set. Speaking of that gun, the revolver used in the film was a real, decommissioned weapon with the firing pin removed. During production, it went missing for 48 hours, causing panic among the crew. Though eventually recovered, the incident highlighted just how fragile and under-resourced the production was, operating on a tight $5 million budget. To stretch those limited funds, Dickerson made a daring choice that contributed to the film's documentary-like authenticity. Several scenes were shot guerrilla style in Harlem without proper permits. Dickerson later admitted they stole these shots, blending with foot traffic and using hidden cameras. Harlem wasn't just a setting, it was a character. This wasn't just any Harlem either. It was early 1990s Harlem, a neighborhood in the grip of the crack epidemic, where tensions ran high and opportunities ran low. The real streets where they filmed didn't just provide a backdrop, they provided the visceral energy that pulses through every frame of the film. Local residents would sometimes watch filming, their reactions captured in real time, blurring the line between actor and observer, fiction and reality. If you're enjoying this deep dive into cinema history, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Primetime Throwback. We're uncovering the hidden stories behind your favorite films every week. The scenes so dark Paramount made them change it. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of Tupac's portrayal of Bishop is how seriously he took the psychological toll of the role. According to Money B of Digital Underground, Tupac wrote a poem titled Bishop Lives after filming Wrapped, a piece meant to process the darkness he had absorbed during production. Though never officially published, Tupac reportedly read it to friends during a freestyle session, describing the poem as therapy for carrying a ghost. This psychological depth manifested in one of the film's most interesting creative decisions, an alternate ending that was filmed but never used. In this version, Bishop actively chooses to fall to his death rather than accept Q's help, a reflection of the character's inability to live with what he's become. Test audiences found this ending too disturbing, leading to the slightly more ambiguous conclusion in the final cut. Why Juice changed the game for rap stars in film. The impact of Juice extended far beyond its modest commercial success. While it grossed roughly $20 million against its $5 million budget, respectable but not spectacular, its cultural footprint proved far more significant. The film helped launch what industry insiders would later call rapper realism, a subgenre that proved hip-hop artists could carry serious dramatic roles. While Boys N' the Hood is often credited with pioneering hood cinema, it was Juice that established the template for integrating authentic hip-hop culture into film narratives. Tupac's breakthrough performance directly influenced later casting choices, from DMX in Belly to 50 Cent in Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Studios began actively recruiting rap artists for dramatic roles, recognizing the authentic cultural connection they brought to these stories. For the young cast, Juice represented a launching pad to stardom. It marked the first film roles for Tupac, Omar Epps, and Khalil Kain. But their path to the screen wasn't smooth. Each had to fight for their opportunity. Epps was working at a Foot Locker when he landed the role of Q, while Tupac was primarily known as a dancer for Digital Underground, not yet established as a solo artist. A real rooftop in Harlem inspired the final scene. The rooftop confrontation wasn't a random setting. It was chosen because of a real story Dickerson remembered from his youth. A young man had died on that exact rooftop during a standoff in the 1970s. Dickerson never forgot it. That location to him symbolized choices, whether to pull someone up or let them fall. Soundtrack success that almost didn't happen. The film's soundtrack also deserves recognition as a cultural artifact. Released in 1991, it featured a who's who of hip-hop talent, including Naughty by Nature, who invited Tupac to appear in their video for Uptown Anthem. But initially, Paramount wasn't planning to release a soundtrack at all, believing the film's music wouldn't have commercial appeal beyond the urban market. It was only after Dickerson partnered with MCA Records executive Lewis Silas Jr. that the soundtrack was greenlit, eventually becoming a gold-certified release that outlived the film's theatrical run. The filmmaking technique that changed everything. Another overlooked aspect of Juice is its revolutionary cinematography. While Dickerson was primarily known as Spike Lee's cinematographer, he brought a distinctive visual language to Juice that had never been seen before in urban cinema. He used a technique called subjective camera during Bishop's violent episodes, where the camera subtly shifts perspective to put viewers inside Bishop's mind. This effect wasn't just stylistic, it was psychological, making audiences complicit in Bishop's descent into madness. This technique has since been adopted by countless filmmakers but was considered groundbreaking in 1992. The video store scene that predicted Tupac's future. In one of the film's most chilling coincidences, there's a scene where Bishop walks past a video store with a poster showing a man with his hands up, foreshadowing both the film's ending and, in a tragic twist of fate, Tupac's own future. Some film scholars have noted that this unintentional visual parallel feels almost prophetic given the circumstances of Tupac's death 4 years later. Dickerson has confirmed this was completely unplanned, just one of those eerie cinematic accidents that seems charged with meaning in retrospect. Bishop was never just a villain, he was a warning. And Tupac carried that ghost with him long after the camera stopped. The question isn't whether Q had the juice, it's whether Bishop ever had a chance. At Primetime Throwback, we're dedicated to exploring the hidden histories behind the films that shaped a generation. If you've enjoyed this journey into the making of Juice, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and drop a comment below. Was Bishop broken from the start? Or could he have been saved? Until next time, remember, sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that almost didn't get told.